Let's talk about a word we all think we know, humility. But what if the way we usually think about it is, well, completely backwards? What if it's not about being weak, but about having a really deep, quiet kind of strength? Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's just rip the Band-Aid off. On one hand, you've got the common view, right? That humility means thinking less of yourself, making yourself small. But on the other hand, there's this new view we're exploring today, which says humility is actually about understanding. It's about seeing yourself accurately, with total clarity, no more, no less.
And this is the quote that could change everything. Humility means to understand the self, and through that, to understand others as well. Now, did you catch the order there? That's the whole secret. The journey doesn't start with how you deal with other people. No, it starts inside. All right, so let's dive into that first part, understanding the self. And look, this isn't about getting lost in some endless self-analysis. It's way more practical. It's about a kind of radical honesty. So yeah, the journey to real humility, it really does begin by just looking in the mirror.
This idea of self-understanding is so crucial. Notice those key words, clarity and without distortion. This isn't about making a list of all your flaws just to feel bad about them. No way. It's about seeing them and your strengths as just data. Your ego is always trying to puff you up or tear you down. But humility just looks at what's actually there.
And here it is. This might be the most important sentence of the whole explainer. It is not about thinking less of yourself. That's just a recipe for insecurity. The real goal is to think of yourself less. It's about getting out of your own head, stepping back from being the main character in every single scene. Can you even imagine how much mental energy that frees up? So, okay, you've started this journey. You're building this clear self-understanding. What happens next? Well, it naturally creates a bridge to the second part of that definition, understanding others. I mean, how can you really expect to see someone else clearly if you're looking at them through a distorted lens of yourself?
You can see how it just flows, right? It all kicks off with that true self-awareness. But that's not the end of the road. It's the foundation for a bridge that takes you straight to a genuine understanding of other people. And here's the kicker. One just can't happen without the other. They're totally connected.
And this is why it works. It's so simple and beautiful. When you can finally look in that mirror and admit, yep, I've got my own issues, I make mistakes, I'm biased, you suddenly stop expecting perfection from everybody else. You see their humanity because you finally made peace with your own. Okay, so understanding the what is one thing, but I know what you're thinking. The real question is how. How do we actually do this? Well, that brings us to the core practice, which is all about this idea of detachment.
Here we go. And just let this one sink in for a second. Humility is an attitude where you are not attached to your opinion and feelings. I mean, think about how wild that is. It's not saying you shouldn't have opinions, of course not. It's saying you're not fused to them. They're not who you are.
Right. That sounds cool in theory, but what does it actually look like day to day? Does it mean you just become a pushover and agree with everyone? Absolutely not. Let's break down what this non-attachment really looks like in practice.
So here's how it plays out. First, you start to see your opinions as something you have, not something you are. So if someone criticizes your idea, they're not attacking you. Huge difference. Second, it means you can actually listen to someone. I mean, really listen. Not just wait for them to stop talking so you can make your counterpoint. And maybe the best part? It gives you the freedom to be wrong. Suddenly, changing your mind isn't a crushing defeat for your ego. It's a win for your understanding. So what happens when you put these two pieces together? You've got this deep self-understanding, and you're practicing this art of detachment. What do you get? You might think it leads to being passive, but it's the total opposite. The result is a quiet, steady, powerful kind of confidence. It's real strength. And just think about the benefits here. Your openness to new ideas, it just skyrockets. Your resilience, it goes through the roof because your self-worth isn't riding on every single conversation. And your connections with other people become so much deeper because you're finally, truly able to see and hear them. So if you walk away with just one thing, let it be this. True humility has absolutely nothing to do with insecurity. It's the quiet confidence that lets you be open, lets you be wrong, and keeps you willing to learn, always. And that brings us to the end. I just want to leave you with this question to think about. It's not about giving up your beliefs. Just, what is one opinion you hold pretty tightly that maybe you could practice detaching from just for today? Try holding it a little more loosely. See what happens. Thanks for tuning in.